Alright, so I like to introduce you all to a genre of anime I like to refer to as degenerate shows. I've used the term in like a video or two, but yeah, why am I bringing this up? Well, because I'm gonna be talking about Shimoneta, or as it's titled in English, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. Yeah, that's the title. And just off the title alone, and because I'm referring to it as a degenerate show, you might think I'm about to shit on the show. Like, oh my god, check this show out, it fucking sucks, this shit is ass. But you'd be incorrect. I actually thought the show was pretty funny, and overall, I just liked how out of pocket it was. For starters, I guess I'll give out a basic synopsis. For sure though, spoiler warning if you even really care for it, since it's a degenerate show. Like, oh no, I spoiled some mongrel shit they did, how could I? Nah, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory to be honest with you. Like, just off the title alone, it's literally about a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. The story takes place in Japan, and for some reason, the government has outlawed anything and all things lewd. Like, so much so that you are mandatorily giving a collar you gotta wear that monitors your horny levels. It does that, and it kinda just scans out for anything inappropriate you've done or like currently doing, and it sends it to the police, and then you're prosecuted and arrested for being aroused, or I guess just being a menace to society and saying something like pussy. Our protagonist is named Okuma Tanukichi, and he's a fairly normal guy, nothing all that notable about him. Only like real thing I can think of is that when he was younger he had a dad who was into dirty jokes, and as a result he kinda is too, but since the law prohibits it, he's kinda just shut that part of him off. His life is normal though, pretty mundane, until it's turned upside down when a literal terrorist catches him lacking, and he's kinda just forced into a life of lewd terrorism. That terrorist being a fellow classmate and member of the student council, Ayame Kojo. Terrorism within the context of the show is literally just like passing around source codes, maybe throwing around lingerie and like giving out flashlights. But yeah, the main goal of the cast going forward is to overthrow the system, and they attempt to do so while rocking a cape and panties on their faces. There are other characters, but more on them later. You can kinda see why it's slumped into the degenerate genre, but why am I not shitting on the show? Like, if you haven't seen it and you literally know nothing about it, just a synopsis I just gave you, it sounds like shit and a nonsensical show. Even though the show is kind of pointless and intended for an audience of actual losers, it's actually pretty good for the genre. And yeah, I know what you gotta be thinking. Well, Ace, since the intended audience is losers and you like it, then you're a loser and a degenerate by association. And all I gotta say is, no, fuck off. But yeah, the show is good for the genre, and I'ma just kinda lay out some reasons why I think that is. I guess for starters though, the comedy. Like, yeah, okay, comedy is subjective. I'm sure there are people out there who watched this show and thought, oh god, what the fuck am I watching? What is this? This is awful. What are they doing? Oh no, someone take my eyes. That, or like they just got offended by the show in one way or another, since the show is an older show and some of the jokes in here, I could see like how they wouldn't fly today. But yeah, when I watched the show for the first time in high school, I thought it was funny as shit. Like, I don't think I laughed hysterically or anything, although I don't tend to do that. I was amused for sure though. Like, I exhaled while grinning throughout the show for sure. The show is an ecchi comedy, so I mean, the jokes and gags within the show should like be expected. Like, bro, deadass. Just read the title. You should know what kind of show you're getting into from that. But yeah, fuck, what's a good example of one of the gags? I guess like the yandere gag. There's this character named Anna who is a student council president. She's the daughter of the person who commissioned the band of lewd things, and it's overall like really prim and proper. But like halfway through the show, I think she just gets really turned on by Okuma after he like falls on her and accidentally kisses her, I think. From there, like the neurons in her brain are like rewritten or whatever the fuck, and she just goes full yandere for him. It's funny as fuck. Like, she's straight up insane and does some out of pocket shit. Like, she'll steal the main character's boxers and just be like, boxers. Like, she'll smell them and like she just acts like nothing, like she didn't do anything wrong. She also just like assaults him and kind of just busts her load on him, like not even like trying to be funny. Like, she actually just fucking climaxes on top of the guy. She also like tries to bang him constantly. It's pretty funny, like to me at least, since like 1 second she's pretty normal, you know, like a decent human being, and then the next she's like a freak obsessed with Okuma. It's like the yandere trope, but like to an extreme. Although I don't know, because the yandere trope is already an extreme, but you get what I'm saying. Other kind of running gags I would include in here would be Kosuri, who's like this little sister character type, I guess. She's kind of like an antagonist in a way. Not really though, she's just kind of annoying. The only like real thing I really remember from her is that her hairstyle was pretty oddly shaped. Other than that, Otome, she's like this sauce artist, and she's kind of a gag in the way that she's not really supposed to be able to draw shit like that, because the color monitors her hand movements, but she manages to do so with her mouth, which is pretty funny, since, you know, you'd think that maybe like government enforced colors would track weird mouth and head movements, since what kind of activity would you be performing with weird mouth and head movements? You know, since I mean they already track hand movements, might as well go the extra mile, but I guess they didn't. But yeah, moving on, I'm gonna say the voice acting. It's kind of a weird thing, but hear me out. The show has a dub and a sub. I've seen both, but since I'm praising voice acting, I'ma just refer to the dub since I don't speak Japanese and I can't really say anything other than this guy's voice sounds really cool and sub. But yeah, kind of just reminds me of the Ghost Stories dub in the sense that the delivery is just funny as fuck to me. Like you'll have Okuma doing like generic anime guy shit, and then Ayame just says like the shittiest little joke in response. Something like, I'm not really feeling it right now. Damn, I bet chicks say the same thing when you put it in. But yeah, the shitty dub delivery is what makes it dope to me. That's not me even like trying to shit on the voice acting, since you know, their work made the show better. But yeah, that's like the only way I can really describe it. Lastly, I think just like the concept or premise overall is what makes the show good, especially now I guess. I'm not really sure if it was meant to be like a response or a stab at censorship or anything like that, but it kind of just serves that purpose now, or I guess it could be seen in that way right now, with like not really being able to say shit and people just getting offended over like the most minute things. And that's not me trying to be like an edgelord loser who's obsessed with like dark humor or anything. Like don't get me wrong, that shit is cringe. I'm not out here like, oh my god, people are such snowflakes. Like bro, that sentence is actually revolting. But I'm more like taking a stance on it media wise. Like me, for example, I cuss a shit ton on my videos, and if I were to start growing more, YouTube Coon would probably fucking shaft me monetarily and make the algorithm blue ball me while saying stupid shit like, we're here for the creators, and then they fucking turn around and spank me. But yeah, the show is kind of like a joke on the current climate we're in, and that's pretty funny. Like, in the show, people are trying to stop other people from saying lewd, offensive things, so much so that saying shit like that is seen as like terrorism. It's kind of like an extreme mirror of right now, I guess. Or maybe it's not, and I'm reading into it too much and giving Shimoneta hella credit for no reason. Like the show is older, so maybe not. I'm kind of just spitballing here. But yeah, the show is peak degeneracy and out of pocket as fuck, but in a good way. For sure, check out Shimoneta if you haven't already. It's a decent introduction to the degenerate genre, and I guess, yeah, putting that label on it does make it seem awful, but it's really not. Aside from that, make sure you like, comment, like literally anything, subscribe, share the video around. It would help me grow some more, which would be dope. And yeah, I'm gonna try and start posting a bit more consistently. That's what I'm going for. So there's that, and yeah, later.